Now, I appreciate Frank Reich being extremely complimentary of Brian Burns and
Right.
how he's handling things now. Chris Jones is a guy who is constantly a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's going to be a distraction whether he's there or not, and he won't be ready if they come to a deal tonight or tomorrow. Talking about the Falcons matchup, Desmond Ridder averaged 3.3 air yards per pass attempt, second lowest in the league from week 1. Derek Carr, on the other hand, for the Saints, the most air yards per pass attempt at over 12. And you know those Saints receivers. You got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed, deep threats. What a dicey game of chicken here between these two in week 1. He is imperative to any sort of success that the Panthers want to have defensively on the field. And remember, this is a brand new defensive scheme. When a trade request is out there, accept it, deny it, or counter it. Don't leave them on red, all right? Don't ghost them. This isn't dating or anything, right? Unscouted looks is what Adam Thielen was talking about right there. And remember, all preseason we asked, where's this Panther offense? What's happening? And the staff, the players, everyone just said, we're not showing you everything right now. So the Falcons don't really know what to expect, but the same applies on the other side of the ball. We flip on those Friday night lights a day early. We got a doubleheader here at Memorial Stadium for Charlotte kickoff night, leading off literally right now. Let's kick off the season on Queen City News. What do you say? We've got Cox Mill taking on Weddington right now, and this game is actually a rematch of the second round of the playoffs last year. Weddington ended Cox Mill's season, and we're going to see a kickoff live on the air, guys. Clemson in the second half didn't score and didn't punt. 5 turnovers, and then that blocked field goal miss that you saw right there. So Clemson needs to get right. They do have Charleston Southern next, then FAU, but then it's a date in 3 weeks from now with number 4 on your screen that you saw moments ago, Florida State. The Charlotte Checkers unveiled their jerseys for the Queen City Outdoor Classic tonight. Remember, the Checkers face the Rochester Americans at Truist Field outside on Saturday, January 13th, and check out that uni. Looks great. The one-time only jerseys are a hybrid of those worn by the team during the 50s and 70s. Jerseys worn by the players during the game will be available via auction, and you can auction off and try and put in a bid to buy while they're playing. Up in Boone, App State head coach Sean Clark is getting set for his 3rd season on the sidelines. He has a wide-open quarterback competition after the departure of Chase Bryce that he needs to figure out. But the Mountaineers also need to get back to a more familiar record, which means more wins. Last year, App went 6-6, and that was the program's lowest win total since 2014. And we have a lot going on, too. Professional lacrosse is taking over the Queen City throughout the weekend, and we've got Gabe McDonald checking that out. It's super regional time in college baseball. Duke and South Carolina were in action there. But first, Mike, we have to talk some Panthers. Obviously, the big story this week was Bryce Young's promotion to the first team. Now, the rookie quarterback has not been named the full-on starter just yet, but he's making great progress since going first overall in this year's NFL draft. Just a little frustrating, though, when you see the Hornets shoot 30% against the Spurs, 31% against the Lakers. They've got a little bit of time left to try and right the ship because you do want to end this on a good note in one way or another. 3 more games in Vegas for Brandon Miller and company.
How many bowls is too many bowls?
I can't stand that this is where everyone says too much football is a bad thing. I never hear too much football is a bad thing otherwise. Between December 20th and New Year's, you're working or lounging with the family. You don't want to throw on Virginia Tech and Memphis at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday? Why not? I love it. Well, here's the deal, guys. It's going to look a lot like what we saw for the Carolina Panthers leading up to the NFL draft. It's just going to be one of 2 guys that all these mocks are going to show you because, as Mike just said, we have 2 weeks left here. It's either going to be SEC Player of the Year Brandon Miller or G League standout Scoot Henderson. This guy is only 25 as well. Been a captain for a few years already. Is going to become the big leader defensively on this squad coming up this season. So I think you trust in this new scheme and what's going to happen. And this guy is hitting his stride in his prime right now. So I think big things are to come.
Serious question here, Joe. If you were going to open up a food truck, what food would you serve?
Too much Italian roots in my family, guys. So I feel like you got to skew that way. Trying to perfect my meatball game lately.
I've heard you have the best meatballs of all time.
It's been uttered in circles. So I don't know what kind of circles, but yeah, maybe some meatball sandwiches. UC Crown time, everyone, and we got to honor Bobby Valentine because on this day in history in 1999, Bobby V got
that
tossed
guy?
and then came back. Well, he didn't come back. I don't know. Another guy came into the Mets dugout to hang out and watch the game. I love this moment in sports history there. Hats off, Bobby
I
V.
love it. All right, my crown is going out to the most important duck in all of sports. talking about Donald Duck Day, his 89th birthday, and at one time the mascot of the Oregon Ducks.
That was wild.
And that's my Donald Duck impression.
Beautiful.
For Joe, I'm Mike. Good night.
Have a good week.